Hi guys, so Zack Polanski, the leader of the Green Party, has received a lot of criticism. His past involving hypnosis, the idea that he's a watermelon, that being green on the outside but red on the inside, and of course his attempts to emulate Nigel Farage's techniques when it comes to dealing with the media. Now, Harriet Harman, a former government minister, had a new criticism: the fact that Zack Polanski is a man.
For me, it seems like he's a combination of Jeremy Corbyn and Nigel Farage, and neither appeals to me. Elections are a competition, and you do have to worry. And there's been a lot of focus on Zack Polanski as their new, supposedly dynamic, charismatic leader. Now, for me, the Greens have always seemed like a very sort of collaborative, women's focused, teamly kind of party. And Zack Polanski is not in that vibe at all. He's in the kind of big I am, male leader vibe.
The point is that he, a bit like Farage to the right, he's capturing a bit of a zeitgeist. He's capturing disillusionment with the Labour Party. He's capturing young people's vibe, right? So Labour should be worried, right, Ruth?
He's a really good communicator. He's capturing the idea for people that voted Labour, but maybe perhaps feel a bit disillusioned by them, that there is another option out there, that they can be true to their progressive lefty principles and they don't have to vote for the kind of chaos that is the Corbyn, your party. There is something else. There's a place for them to go. They can go somewhere.
He's a combination. For me, it seems like he's a combination of Jeremy Corbyn and Nigel Farage, and neither appeals to me.
I get that you're not getting the feels for Zack Polanski, Harriet, but I have to say, and I'm going to say this with respect, although I know it's going to sound disrespectful, I don't mean it to, so please don't shoot the messenger, but I don't think you're their target voter. I think they're looking much further down the age demographic, and they're looking at an electorate that isn't steeped in two-party politics anymore, that's far more transactional, that wants to use their ballot to make a particular point.
And Ruth here, the politician on the screen, is completely correct. But I want to go back to Harriet Harman for a moment. So she said here that the Green Party used to represent a women-focused team effort. Okay, but how successful was that? It was extremely limited in its success. So in order to do something different, Zack Polanski is doing something different. He's being a bit more dynamic. He's talking the language of ordinary people, because the Green Party, and I asked Zack when I spoke to him before he became leader, what does the Green Party represent? The Green Party used to represent a sort of idea of middle class, middle-aged people who are concerned about the environment, and that was about it. But in order to gain more seats in Parliament, to gain more councils, you need to appeal beyond that. And that's exactly what Zack Polanski is doing. Nigel Farage is doing it really, really, really well. He's using the media. And I've mentioned this before, how Farage was working hard, if you want to call it working hard, when politicians were on holiday. Last summer, during the recess, when politicians were back home in their constituents or on holiday, Farage was campaigning. He was pumping out videos on social media. This is how you deal with politics in this age. You can't go back to the way things were before. And of course, Harriet Harman is not the target voter that Zack Polanski has in mind. It's people who are disillusioned with the Labour Party, but also young people. And if they're able to tap into young people, if they're able to encourage young people to come out and vote, which has been extremely difficult over the last number of years, if they're able to do that, they're pretty much guaranteed a significant number of seats. And they are appealing to them. They're talking about things like cost of living. They're talking about housing. They're talking about all of the issues that impact young people in particular, but through the prism of the environment. So I don't think Zack Polanski should be taking advice from Harriet Harman, but also, isn't it a bit strange how she criticizes him because of his manly approach? This is one of the very first criticisms I've ever heard. I don't know if she applies the same to Nigel Farage. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.